riches. Love it for me. Yeah, I love it, I love it, I love it. Took me from rags to riches. Took me from rags to riches. Oh, yeah.
Today I'm going to talk to y'all about something a little deep. How I lost my voice, not from being sick, but from life, I guess. Because life was life and they don't talk about that during your healing journey, how you might end up losing your voice. Don't worry, I got you. So I used to be the type of person where if I'm in a group setting, I'm quiet for like the first 45 minutes, then all of a sudden I'm just cracking jokes, sharing opinions. That was me. I think to a degree that's still me, but I was never the first person to speak because usually I'm just reading the room, trying to gauge where everybody's at first. And a lot of the times I'm thinking about if what I'm thinking about saying, if it's even worth sharing at all. Because the last thing I think we want is to share something only for it to fall on deaf ears. So when I do speak, it sounds confident because I've already mentally rehearsed it about 5 different times. I actually made a video about the season of isolation I was in, or a lot of my other seasons really, that God led me through. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. It'll help give this video a bit more context. Something that I didn't mention in it, mostly because I didn't realize it until about like 2 weeks ago. During my season of isolation, I lost my confidence, and as a result, I lost my voice. And so once that clicked, I did what I always do, overanalyze and fall into a rabbit hole of reflection. Y'all know the vibes, and if you know me, you know I'm good for that. Turns out I felt, and I guess feel, the most confident when I know who I am. That was the case back then as well. Back then, I saw myself to be the smart, outspoken, confrontational kind of person, respectfully and disrespectfully at times. I consider how people called me wise beyond my years, which, let's be honest, it's not the compliment that we think it is. I was only wise because I done been through some things. But realizing that I lost my voice because I lost my confidence gave me space for grace, only because it made sense. It made sense that I didn't know my voice because I didn't know myself at that time. And if I didn't know myself, I didn't know my voice, I didn't know how to show up. By the time I posted that season reflection video, I was in the middle of becoming a whole new person. My values have changed, my priorities were shifting, my taste was evolving, has evolved since then.
You know what that is? It's growth. You're a big girl. Got them big girl panties.
And so how I showed up, it was completely different then. Since I have always been this person that just didn't speak, if I didn't know what to say, I just stopped talking altogether. I didn't know who I was becoming. I didn't know what I wanted to become. So if I don't know all these things, there's nothing to talk about. That's really how I felt. When I realized this about 2 weeks ago, I realized that that pattern was showing up everywhere. It was showing up in my friendships. It was showing up in my dating life, in my art, career, faith. It may not sound that deep for everybody, but for someone like me who typically shows up the same way in every single space, not knowing myself, not knowing how I wanted to use my voice, it ultimately contributed to how alone I felt. Because again, if I'm not talking to anyone, I'm not connecting with them. And so it was a negative feedback loop, really. The less I talked to people, the less I connected to them. The less I connected to people, the more alone I felt. It was just a cycle. I've realized when you're trying to figure out who you are in the middle of rejection, you tend to start to question things like, or yourself even. Maybe I'm not who I thought I was. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe my work isn't worth sharing. Maybe my voice isn't worth hearing. That voice, all the negative stuff, doesn't actually come from us. That's all Satan, the big hater downstairs. Like, he has nothing better to do with his time. And in reality, God already told us who we were. He already told us how he sees us, how he values us. Whether we choose to believe that or not, that's all on us. So I have decided that I am reclaiming my confidence, if you will, and accepting that my confidence, it's going to look different during this time and going to look different as I continue to get older and grow. I'm still figuring things out, yes, but honestly, I think we all are, and I think we always will be. Knowing this, I'd be doing myself and others a disservice by keeping my voice to myself, especially if I feel like what I have to say can help others. Here's what I've been doing to get my voice back. I have been talking to God more, and that includes reading what He's already said about me and relearning what I believe to be true. I've initiated small talk more, and if y'all know me, you know I hate it with a passion. Surprisingly, I've met cool people because of it. I'm only doing it more now because it's a requirement for my job. But as a result, small talk went from me hating it with a passion to, okay, I guess I can tolerate it. I've decided to take time to learn new things again. The key to that though is to pick stuff you actually care about, because if it doesn't interest you, it's not going to stick, and you won't care enough to really talk about it with anyone anyway. When you get to a point where you feel comfortable stacking these things on top of each other, this could even help as far as small talk goes, because if you're in a room surrounded by like-minded people and you learn more about an interest of yours, chances are it's somebody else's interest as well, and so it won't really feel like small talk in that way because it's something you're passionate about. Now, this one might be controversial, but going to the gym and eating better was something that helped as well. I know we don't really like hearing that. At least I can speak for myself. I got tired of hearing, it's all your diet, what you eat is what you get out, blah, 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 all of that great stuff. Yeah, I was tired of hearing it, but hear me out. Look good, feel good. It's a real thing, okay? And I didn't want to buy new clothes after gaining some weight. So instead of buying new clothes, I just went back to the gym. Turns out working out really helped clear my brain fog. And as a result, it helped me physically and mentally. This one is probably the hardest for me to do, but showing up on purpose. Not just being in a room, taking up physical space, but being present, making sure that the words that I speak are also taking space, meaningful space at that. And I think to a degree I'm still learning how to do that when I don't feel like it. I think that's been my biggest challenge. If you don't know where to start, you don't need to copy and paste my journey. You could just use it as a guide to help you come up with your own. Just pick one thing and start there. Don't try to do everything all at once. It's gonna feel overwhelming. Or even start with these questions. Who am I? Who do I want to be? How do I get there? What can I work on to make me feel more confident about myself? The list that I just shared, it's my list because those are the things that I've tested or experimented with that actually helped. Try it out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then at least you know it doesn't work, and that's one less thing for you to figure out. But it also brings you one step closer to figuring out what does. Just promise me that you won't stay silent for too long. Remember that you still have a voice, and know that someone needs to hear it. That's all I have for you today. This video caught your attention and you resonated with any of what I said. For starters, I hope you hit that subscribe button, and I hope you hit the like button, because if not, do you really like it? Do you really support me? Just so you know, I just gave you that extra time to go ahead and do it. Just saying. That being said, ciao.